Today, we want to do something a little bit more in the lines of prep work. If any of you have ever gotten those meals that you order and they do all the prep work for you, it makes making a meal really easy. You just throw all the stuff together, voila, a meal. Today, we're going to do some prep work so that when we want to make cards and I say, what's on my desk to make a card, some of these items will be available. All right, so I ordered some things from Ranger. Actually ordered the new Tim Holtz Scorched Timber. You have to say it in that voice, otherwise it's just not the same. So Scorched Timber, and it's a rather dark color, but I think I like it for certain areas, especially when you're doing something in the kind of wilderness or the outdoorsy type thing, and I'm kind of outdoorsy sometimes, so I think I'll like this a lot. And I do want to get more into junk journaling, so if I do get more into junk journaling, this might come in handy for me too. But it's his last color, so you know, I have to have it. And I don't have all the colors, by the way, not even close. I have maybe half. But when I started collecting them, I started buying the new one as they came out, and that has helped me grow my collection pretty far, and I think I have a pretty good range right now. I'm pretty happy. I don't see me going and buying any other colors. I say as the next time you watch a video, you'll see me buying one, but no. For the most part, this is one of my indulgences. But while I was on the Ranger, I totally digress here. While I was on the Ranger website, I always look at what's on sale, because if I'm paying for shipping anyway, I might as well get my money's worth. So Wendy Vecchi has 2 sets that were on sale. And the reason why they caught my attention was not only were they on sale, but they were something I really like, and the price was unbeatable. Each of these were $3. I hope if they still have any and you're interested, you run and get some if you're going to order from Ranger or order any ink anyway. It comes with the stamp set, the dies, and then the stencils. So you have all 3 to make something. So here was the second one. I bought 2 sets. There were more, but I limited myself. See? I'm showing great restraint. I limited myself to the 2 that I really liked. And the main reason I liked these were because they're very good-sized images, but they can hold a card on their own. And if you make a bunch of them ahead of time, you have a really easy way to make either a sympathy, a thank you, or even a birthday card if you have these available in your stash. I'm going to concentrate on this one today because I like to do them one at a time. Now, in fairness, I don't have any of these. I have none that are the 3 sets. So this is my first time. I hope this is not a slippery slope for me because I do not have a stencil stamp die set. This is the first one. So we're going to see how this works for me. I do have stencils and dies. Do I have stencils and dies? I have a couple. And I do have, of course, stamps and die sets. But I don't have the whole 9 yards. And I've wanted one for a while just because people who do it, it seems to make it look pretty easy. And it seems to be a good way to get a lot done at one time. So you're watching me open this for the first time. This image, by the way, I really like it. I like the different flowers. I don't know if you can see. Let me take this off. Or is that going to help any? Probably not. Let me see. Actually, it's going to be impossible to take that off unless I do it one by one. So you'll see them as I bring them up, but hopefully that glare isn't too bad. I do like all of these little guys to go around with it. So you just stamp these on. They don't have the die for those or the stencil. But what we're going to do is we're going to stamp some down. We're going to stencil them. And then I'm going to die cut them and we'll see what we have. So now I've got together some colors. I got Kitsch Flamingo, Worn Lipstick, and Picked Raspberry to use. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do in terms of the colors. I do have an idea that maybe I would like to do the black outside, color it in, and then go back and re-stamp it afterwards. I've always wanted to do that, and I never seem to think about it. So now that I've thought about it, thinking it's a good idea. So these dies, by the way, that I'm playing with over here, these dies were really nice. They were already cut. You just need 5 of them, and that covers the 3 different flowers that you're able to do all 3 processes with. So I'm pretty happy with that. Don't mind the dog hair that's on this one, because apparently these are very sticky. These were very sticky to get off the backs. But hopefully they stamp well. And the first time I stamp, I'm not expecting them to. So what I did is I brought in my stamp platform. And I do have a little bit of a, if you're going to be able to see this, it might be a little difficult to see, but hopefully not. So I brought in my, it's the same hair, my stamp platform. I do have a sheet on here to help hold it down, and I'm going to put it right against that. What I thought I would do is stamp it here and then turn this around and stamp it again. So this is a heavy watercolor paper, and I'm hoping that will help hold some of the liquid in place. Be a little more sturdy. Now I'm putting this on top of all my dies. Hang on a second, let me move that. All right. So I do have a little thingy that rubs it, and I'm not using it, so go figure. Normally, the first time or two you do one, they're just not that good. They need to get seasoned, they say, or I usually rub them a lot, but since I knew I was using this, I wasn't that worried about it. If I was just stamping with a regular block, I would have definitely rubbed it a lot with my finger to try and get it. Then my finger looks like that, so you know, that's what happens with that. So let's see where we're at now. It might be about the best I'm going to get it right now. So, all right, let's give it a try and see how it goes. We could always, I have a nice big sheet of paper over here to make more on if I like it a lot. All right, so let's go on this one. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put this underneath to keep it from sliding. The glass mat causes sliding. It's kind of a common problem for me. And I'm going to spray this a little bit. It looks like it has a couple little remnants here from the last time I used it. Let me make sure it's somewhat clean. If you notice the very inky towel I'm using, you wonder how anything gets cleaned, right? Okay. So let's put this down. Let's start with this one here, this guy here. Because I kind of want, it's new, and I kind of want to see how this goes, you know? How does this work? What exactly am I doing here? So I'm going to try this, and you'll notice this one here, it looks to me, sits on it pretty good. Pretty happy with that. It's pretty close to it. But my problem is, or my problem with it is, I'm worried about these other things getting, I don't know if you can see this, these other things getting some of my ink. So I have some green tape sitting here, and I'm just gonna, so there won't be any holes around it. That's one I'm using later. if I do it like this, I think I can keep it in pretty good. I'm not using that at all, so I don't mind that going a little bit further. And then this down here just needs to be like this much. I don't think I'll get out of it that much, but I'd rather not find out I did. So we're going to put this on here, and then we're going to put this one over here because we can. All right. I just don't want it on here. Come on. All right. So basically, I'm just building a little fort here around my around my image. Let's start with worn lipstick because I know that that's a lighter one. It's a lighter pink. And I'm also going to take this brush. I think I've mentioned this before, but these brushes tend to be lighter for me. And I tend to be more light-handed when I'm using them. So there's that. Now we could do one of two things. I could try to go in and finish this one up with the darker, or we can just head over to the bigger one and do it while we got the lighter one out. I'm kind of inclined to do that. Although I believe this one, so here's the problem with this that I see right now. I don't know that I like using the black. It may be too dark. I might want to use a gray. All right. I'm going to look at this here. And this one, I think, is upside down. I think that's where my problem is at. Once I can make sure this is up and that is up, which is the next time I stamp it, I will make sure I mark it. So this has got a lot of the black seems to be coming off in here, and I'm a little surprised by this because I know it's a wet, but it's kind of dirty in this. I'm not happy with this at all. I didn't think that would happen. But I think that's why it would be better if I used a dark pink rather than a black. See the black on here? So these are the kind of things that you find out as you go along sometimes. And a lot of people do not put these in their videos because they want, you know, to look like they know everything, basically. They practice it ahead of time, or they've done it enough times maybe too. I mean, I've been doing this for quite a while, but I didn't think that would happen. And I don't like the way that looks. I could try to go over it in a really dark color. Maybe we should try that. Let's try that before we ditch it. And then go back and stamp on top of it. Maybe this color is just not going to work for us. Let's try the picked raspberry, which is a dark color. It's going to be dark. It's going to be harder to get in the dark in there. But I think we can do it. So I also brought out these little guys. I like using these when I am needing a little spot. I know they've come out recently with the little daubers. Kind of want those. But I already have these, and I have a lot of them, and I don't really see the need to buy more when I already have some that work perfectly fine, which is, you know, part of the problem when you start buying things just because they're there. So that looks a little better. I don't mind that as much. That's a kind of a unusual color right there. What I'm thinking, see the black is still showing up on here? I'm thinking, maybe not. Maybe that was something else. I don't know. Because it seems to be covering it up pretty good. I think we might have saved this from being thrown out. I think that one will be okay once we if you notice, it kind of took out all of the outline of it. So we'll put back some outline and leave that black for this one. But for the next one, I won't do that. For the next one, I want to do it in, I'll try to save these if I can. And then for the next one, we'll use the picked raspberry. And then we won't have to worry about it as much. That's kind of fun. Okay. So now we got a plan on this. And then what they did is made these smaller ones. You can make them even darker. I'm pretty sure this goes in here. And if you want to make it even darker, you can make that even darker. Since I have it so dark already, I don't think that's going to be a thing I'm going to do for this one. But I will for the next one. So this is the same thing. You see how that goes around here? And you can make this. Let's just take our little guy over here. If I can get it all in the shot. Take this guy right here. Put it in here. So yeah, it's got a little circle in there, so you can make it that much darker if you want. And you could, and with this one, I'm not sure that those aren't supposed to be green. Huh. You know, these look like leaves around here. Do you think that's the flower is here? I don't know about this one. And what's around it is the green? I just thought it was a giant flower. Okay, showing my lack of botanicalness. All right, I'm going to vote for us doing this again. I'm going to stamp it on here. I'm not going to use this because I'm going to try that there, but I'm going to try it over here. I know I made no sense with what I just said. I'm a little flabbergasted here. I didn't realize that was the green. I don't even know what to say to that. All right, let me wipe off my stencil because apparently we're going to be using some green. That just blows my mind. So now you have to use a gray or you can't use a pink on the outside or on the stamp because you want some of it to be green and some of it. Holy moly. So, all right. I'm all flummoxed here about this development. Let's do these in the gray and see how it goes. I'm going to put it over here, all the way over. I probably need to take this out. I use this mainly just for a straight line, so I don't have to put it all the way in the corner. Just because I found it stamps better when it's not in the corner. So that's what I do. I'm going to put this in a different place and see if it stamps better. Try and do this. It might be where the magnets were. It might be anything like that. We'll see. All right. There's probably so much ink on there. Oh, come on. You're not helping. Did I put it on upside down? No, I did not. All right. Oh, well, look at that. That's funny. Put it over here. See if it'll pick it up better. The might need to have dried that too. That probably would have helped. But my memento is so good, so juicy, that I don't really worry about it too much. I was supposed to pay attention to where I put this so I could mark my stamp, and I did not. Maybe I'll make a concerted effort to do that when I'm done here, just so it'll be for future. So right here is not happy. Let's get that. There we go. And then, yeah, this one did better over here for whatever reason. Let's see if this one does better. Yeah, not using my rubber probably is not helping it. Come on, just a little bit more. Is that not all the way? Let's see. That's much better. Okay, that's a much better everything. I think we're doing much better right now than we were last time at this point. All right, there we go. See, sometimes you put the things too close, the magnets too close, and then they don't let it close properly. And so now I've got this so I can put it back on when I'm done. Okay, if I want to. Let's see what we got here. Let's try this one. So with the archival ink, I'm going to try and do the green since I didn't know that was a thing. It has nothing to do with the archival ink. I'm just perplexed as to how I did not know that this was supposed to be green for the leaves. All right, so if I put this on here, do I do the inside of it first and then, you suppose? Again, I've never had one of these. I'm guessing this is straight because, yeah, that looks straight to me. Wow, I really, really should have marked it while I had it. Because now I got it. Okay. I'm not even going to put it on there. I'm just going to do it with this. Let's see what happens. And the rest of those should be green. You know what I think? I think you're supposed to make a mask. So if I take one of these out and I make a mask, I could put a mask on here. And then do the rest in green. And it'll be a cute little flower in the midst of all the leaves. Does that seem right? Or does that not seem right? I mean, these kind of look like green leaves, don't they? With a flower coming out of it. I have some masking magic. And, I mean, tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think this is supposed to be green? Or do you think it's supposed to be a different colors of leaves? This one, to me, is more confusing because, look, you got this little circle in the middle, but this circle includes, you know, some of these leaves that look similar to these leaves. I really want to make them like a light green and the other one's a dark green, and then the very center have a little bit of color. This almost looks like a succulent to me. Is that even possible? No, I think that's a succulent. I'm going to make it a succulent. Let's see if I can make it a succulent. All right, so I'm going to take out my masking magic. And I usually don't do new things on the fly like this for you all to see, but at the same time, you've already come this far. If you're still watching, you might as well keep going, right? All right, let's give it a try. So here's my masking magic. And I'm just going to cut a little piece. I was working on something out in the living room there and took my scissors out there. Okay. So you know what that means. Bad crafter. All right, so I've got these two little ones. That's what I'm gonna do. This is a succulent. I'm gonna make it light green on the outside, darker green on the middle, and then a color, like pink in this case, in the middle. And we're gonna see what that looks like. Because I just don't know. I don't know what else it's supposed to be. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe it could be like white on the outside, like white leaves, you know, like white with a little bit of pink and then more pink in the middle, like a lighter pink, a real light pink. And then in the very middle, a darker pink. I mean, let's keep going. The more I think about it, I'll come back and I'll have this thing done in 10 different colors by the time we're done. But we'll see. Maybe one of them I'll like. And you know, they don't have to be realistic, by the way. You do know that when you're making flowers, no one's going to stop. Well, I shouldn't say that. I always thought that was true. No one would stop and critique your work, but I've had people do that, unfortunately. And you know what they say? If you critique my work, you may never get another card from me if you make me feel bad, right? All right, I'm thinking, you go this way. Literally seen GinaK use this 8,000 times. My number of using it, 0 up until right now. I believe I know how it's used. I just haven't done it. All right, let's do this. Here we go. I believe it's this way because the backing comes off, so and then you put it on. So I'm pretty sure that I'm doing it right. But let's see. Taking out all the toys today. All right. So here's this mask and here's this mask. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of masking in my life. I tend to put a piece of tape over it and go with it. But actual real masking, no, I haven't. So let's try this. And I'm going to try it with the green, and we'll see if we like it. I can always, and the thing about these, once you cut them, you can reuse them. And I kind of think this is kind of neat if it actually gives you the mask, the die for the mask, because that would be the biggest pain for me. I always see people cutting out masks for things, and I always like, I'm not going to do all that. So you put it on there like that, and then, let me hang on to this one. Let me hang on to this. Let's put the green. I'm going to try the bundled sage. I think I'm just going to go with what I know better. I mean, we're experimenting. You understand that, right? And I'm going to go with my smaller size brush with some bundled sage and see how it works. And I'm just going to go around the outside nice and easy. I could put the thing on here, yes, to keep it from going out. In fact, I probably should. Because if it goes, well, that's the little backer for it. If it goes out of here, I'm going to be sorry. So I'm going to guess it goes this way because this was the way. Yep. I think I'm too flustered with this whole, really? It's green down here? All right, let's see how that looks. Looks like a flower coming out in a bunch of those, doesn't it? I'm not unhappy with it. I just don't know what to do with it. Okay, should I try it again with the pink and then the darker pink? Let's try this one and see what we get. I'm going to go light green and dark green on this one because I really do think, let's go with lighter green for, maybe this is the plan. So you go with lighter green first, okay? Then you can take the darker and, no, that's not right. The darker should be the middle. Well, that's going the other way, isn't it? All right, let's just go around the outside of it here. Okay. Then So what's nice about the GinaK one is it usually has a little spot in it that you can pick up, but because I cut it completely out without that spot, it's like for bigger stuff. There it is right there. What's nice too is you can take this and put it back in there with your set. So that's kind of nice. So that when you want to use it again, you don't have to cut it again. You only have to cut it once. So that's kind of nice. All right, so I used bundled sage on the outside, which I think is a really good color. Let's go with peeled paint. I mean, I'm sorry, on the whole thing. Let's go with peeled paint and see how that works. Because I think peeled paint will be darker. And my instinct is to go darker on the inside. But I'm kind of saying go darker on the outside with the... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not good. Come on, stay down. I must not have put it down very good because it used, or maybe it's sticking because of the, there you go. I didn't push it down hard enough. That was on me. Okay. Now when we take it up, you should have two different colors, which is kind of neat. But now you see that inside right there? I want that inside to be a color. And since we're going in the pink color, I'm going to take my little brush here, and we'll put some pink down on the table here, my water brush. And I'm just going to brush a little bit in here because I want it to look like there's a little bud in there. It's going to come out eventually. I think that's what I want to do. I kind of like that a lot. And then I would just take this and do this. I'm not sure that all of that is worth it for me. I would just as soon paint it for this little guy. The big guys, if you set them up and you do a bunch of them, this would work really well. And I would like to do that, you know, do multiples of them and have them ready. But I got to figure out what I'm doing with this. Should I try it again with just the pink? I don't hate the green. I mean, I don't hate it at all. I'm just not sure if that's what I'm supposed to be doing with it. I mean, it's mine. I can do whatever I want with it. But I don't want to be like, oh, you missed out. This is supposed to be, you know, this other thing, and you're missing out on it. But I don't know. And then this green right here, you see this green? I would definitely not even, I might paint it if I was, some days. Some days I would. But a lot of times I would use and this is fine. See, look at it, it's fine. I'm just using my brush, the ink left over on my brush to paint this. But a lot of days I would use a colored pencil for this because I kind of like colored pencils. I really like these images to do that with, to color paint, to use colored pencils that are watercolored pencils. And then, because this one especially, it's very bold, and I like that idea for coloring that. But I kind of like how it's darker and lighter in the middle. But this one, I just think this one, I mean, all the green around it looks kind of cool. This does look like a flower in the middle of a bunch of green. That's kind of neat. And that's the good thing about using the distress. You can take a water brush at any time and move this around a little bit if you want to fill in places that you missed, rather than, you know, if you use a permanent color or even a different kind of you might not have that luxury. So I'm not opposed to that. Let's cut these out and see what they look like. I've got a mess all over my desk now, I'll tell you that. This has made a huge mess in my life, but okay, let's check it out. And I'll mark this as well. This I'm going to mark right now because I know which side is up. As soon as I find it, there we go. I think it's right there. No, maybe, yeah, right there. All right, so what you do is you take a Sharpie, and whether you do the top or the bottom, do it the same on all of them. So I do the top. I'll just put a mark on the top. Then that way I won't have to search around to see which way it goes. And that's a really good tip for when you've got these and you just don't know. Even if it's not perfectly obvious, it's going to be way better than searching around trying to make it work, you know. Let's take a look and see what we have here. Okay, so these have a pretty good white around them. And I like and don't like that because now it's harder for me to, I gotta remember that when I do this the next time because it's harder to go around it in the dark. What I would actually do instead, because this one I don't think needs it, but this one I really want something around it. So what I think I'm gonna do, my idea is now to take this. I'm going to take my darker color, which was my peeled paint, and I'm going to take my little brush. I'm going to try to go from the outside and just get a little bit without moving it if I can. If you put it right up to the edge instead of where that white is, it won't go on the white. But you got to kind of do it all the way around, which is kind of a pain, but not bad. Okay. I like that it's darker. There you go. That's better. I like it darker like that. That's a little better. And you can, you know, play with it to your heart's content. Okay, not hating that. Not hating that either. I'm kind of liking it. Just, it's going to have a lot of green on it. So here's my thought on this. I wonder, I made these a while ago. I wonder if these wouldn't be good for this because they need something green, you know? They need something with this greenery in it to make them look, let's put that one up here and this one down here. They need this to make it look better because it's got so much pink on it. Then we can stick this one coming out. And I would even go so far as to put some of these other, like this little guy coming out of here, and ooh, I really like that one. Maybe that one coming out of, I don't know, but I really like this one a lot. This one is one of my favorites right here. Maybe I could put him coming out up here, this guy coming out over here, or maybe some of these straight ones coming up here, and this one coming out over here because it can come out of the bottom, you see? So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where I put these. It'd be nice if this stayed down straight, wouldn't it? So I'm going to do a Kathy Zilski and put some tape underneath it. And hope that it doesn't mess up my stamping, or my, no, it won't mess up me putting it on here. If I'm putting it in the middle, it should be okay. So I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna put this little guy. Maybe I should have just done it on the outside. That might have been better. Okay, so with this, let's do this. Let me put, I think it looks good like that because the other things will go up here. Maybe not, maybe down here would be better. Yeah, I kind of like it there. All right, so I'm gonna take a pencil and mark just very lightly where it's at around here. Now, first of all, this is such a busy background, I doubt anyone's going to see it, but including me. But it'll help be able to locate where the items are. If you can just see a few of them, you don't need to see all of them, you just need to see a few of them. Okay, I'm going to put that over here. And now, I think I'm going to use my black. I trust it. I don't trust scorched timber yet. It hasn't been in the rotation long enough. It hasn't earned my trust yet. Now, you know, I do have sitting on my desk some of these leaves. And these would be really nice. And I'm not opposed to using them. In fact, I kind of like the idea of having them sticking out, mainly because they're just sitting on my desk here. And I might add these to it, but for right now, I really want to use this coming out of the bottom. That's why I kind of want to use scorched timber, because I do want to use like a dark brown and not a black, so it looks like it's kind of a, this even could be a dark green, right? Look at this, wouldn't this look good? From down here. And then this one, because, you know, I really want this going out of the top. And the thing is, if you do these and they don't come out very well, where they're, you know, where they're super, you know, where they might be hidden by the flower or whatever, that's okay. It's all right. I really like these because these were the thing I liked the most when I saw them. I was like, this thing is so cool. I really like these because they kind of give you this idea of like extra flowers. Now in this set, there's also these little guys. I could probably save a whole video for those because they're just two little flowery things, and there's also a stencil for it. But see, like this, I think this is good. I think if we do this in a dark brown, I do have a dark brown. Now I'm getting kind of worried about the, I think we need to do it again. So I'm going to bring this in because I'm getting worried about using and it not stamping well because they're new. Mainly because they're new. And I don't trust them. There's very few companies I trust when they're new, and after the last the last experience we had, this is not one of them now. So better to be safe. And this background is too nice for me to ruin. All right, so I'm going to put this up here. And this over here. Then we'll put this over here. And we'll put this over here. And I'm going to kind of look at it and see if that's about what I had. See, it's not. Hold on. this over a little bit. Okay, let's try that, see how it goes. You know what the worst thing that can happen is, right? We have to hide it with something. Because as crafters, that's what we do. We just hide it with something. So, oh no, did that not work out right? Here, let me hide it. All right, let's see if we can. I'm gonna go with the brown. I mean, you know, I'm gonna go with the brown archival ink. I'm gonna be sorry probably, but let's give it a try. Because these are small and I don't want the distress. I don't know, let's try it. If I don't like it, I can go over it with it, because the oxide would cover it anyway. Just wanted it to be a little bit of a different color. Probably should have done the bottom one. Oh, that one didn't go at all. Okay. Let's, the bottom one came out pretty good. Let's go with, yeah, I'm gonna leave the bottom one alone. I'm liking it now because I can put some little green in there. It came out, the archival ink tends to do a good job of showing details really well. There we go. All right, I'm a fan. I'm gonna wipe off my stamps real quick. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. All right, let's. So here's my idea for this, is that we can I want to glue this one down and then pop this one up. Or do I want to pop them both up? No, I think we glue this one down and pop that one up. That seems to me like a good plan. I'm going to pop him up over here. And I wish I had I do actually. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this one here. And then I'm going to put this, which is a little bit less, I think. I'm going to cut this out and put it on there. Again, with the lack of scissors, because I left them in the other room. Not happy about this development. But see, this is a it's sticky, and it's also, but it's not as big. It's got a foam, but it's not as big of a foam. So when you're putting it up on top of here, it should kind of level out, you know. Okay, let's go with this one. And then this little guy. So this guy I am going to put in here, though, because I like him. I just like him. He's fun. And he can kind of, yeah, there we go. He can nuzzle in there. All right, let's put him in. This paper, because it's this watercolor, this thick watercolor paper, it's very thick, so it actually is doing a pretty good job of, doesn't really need to be popped up at all. But I think having this little bit of pop-up will be cute. Okay, let's turn these over. Take this off. Oh, this one doesn't have any. Need to add some glue to that. I usually add glue to it anyway, just to make sure it's, yeah, that one didn't even have, when I took off didn't come all the way off. the adhesive didn't come, the backing didn't come all the way off at all. That's fun. So we're gonna put that on there, and then There we go. I'm going to put this little guy on here so it can go down. I could add a sentiment. I like Bravo. Bravo's kind of fun. I think a Bravo could mean a lot of things. So I think I'm going to use this Bravo, and I'm going to put it on a strip here, make a little sentiment strip, and put it in this corner going across, or right here. I'm not going to, I wonder what color I should do it in. I'm not going to use a fancy die or anything for it. I'm just going to stamp it and cut it because I think it should be simple since we have all that going on. Okay. How is that looking? I like it. I think the background adds to it. I think it's a good little mix here. I'm pretty happy with it. I like these being brown. Now, if I want to paint these in green, I can do that really quickly, and I might. But I like these, the way they're kind of in that white right there. It looks kind of neat, so I'm going to leave that alone. But this Bravo is a little bent. It's almost like it's trying to go on a curve. Do you see that? It's a little bent. So I'm going to try to make sure I don't pick it up like that, because it's going to make it impossible to make it straight. And when you do that, unfortunately, you never are going to make it straight on your sentiment strip, because it's already crooked. So what I'm trying to do is make it straight on here by using the straight line and making sure it's straight the best I can. Straight is not my best thing. But now I want to know what color I should do it in. I mean, I think I should go with straight up black to kind of emphasize it. But this black and white, when everything is kind of... Maybe I should do brown. Maybe I should do the archival ink and do brown. Let's try. I mean, I've got paper. Let's give it a try and see if I like it. And my plan was to make a bunch of these, but until I figured out what I wanted, now I just want to make a card out of it and see. See if I like the way it came out. Now, those of you who were rooting for me, I appreciate it. I think it came out kind of straight. I'm not unhappy with it. Gotta let the ink transfer a little bit. So you take a minute or two to let the ink transfer. And another thing I like to do, if I think it's not straight, is use some of these scissors. And I like them a lot because they kind of make it look like you did something fancy when you did not at all. So I'm going to try that with this. And I like to start because I think this might come out a little bit wonky looking, and I don't want that. I want it to be great. Now I'm getting them all over the place. Not that my desk wasn't already a mess. But this really helps if you're... Let's take all the thingies off of here. Got them all over my desk. But if you look at that, that one's it's a little bit too much on this side. And what I learned after a million years of doing this, or a million times I should say, is that you really want to try to get the corners like this if you can. It's not always possible. This one's a little wonky, but I like it like that because then it kind of looks like it's framed out, and you can fix it yourself with these scissors. I didn't know that to start with. Nobody told me, and I didn't know, and therefore didn't do it. All right, I'm going to go around these because I like to have a little color around it. And if I'm not putting them on like a black regular Because you could do that too, you know, you could put a color behind it as a regular rectangle. But I kind of like it like this. I think this will look good. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to put it right here. And I think this could be used for a lot of different things. So I'm going to enjoy having this in my stash of cards to give out if someone does something happens good. You just say bravo. And I think that'll be fun. Every time I turn on the camera, it becomes quite the adventure, but I hope you enjoyed going along. I will make some more of these and put them in my stash. I might make a video of it, and I might just make a bunch and show them to you, and we'll use them on a day that I do using up the stuff on my desk to make a card. But thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching me try out a new to me stamp, stencil, and die set. And I hope you learned something, or at least got inspired along the way to take out your own different supplies that you may not have played with recently, and have a play. Enjoy creating something just for the sake of having a good time. Keep crafting. And dance by the